Hello, welcome back to the Bliss Bean. I just moved into this new apartment, as you can tell by the new background. I'm starting my final year of college at IE University in Madrid. On the one hand, it feels like these past 3 years have completely flown by, but on the other hand, I feel like my freshman self was a completely different person, so a lot has changed. I do have a big long video where I talk about study techniques in depth, but obviously college is not all about studying. It's also about learning how to be out in the world on your own and living independently and making new friends and making steps towards your career. So these 7 habits that I'm going to talk about, yes, they do cover academics, but they also cover social life and extracurriculars and all the general life stuff that you also need. Number 1 is so simple. It is to write down all of your homework assignments, please. My general life philosophy is that I don't try to keep track of anything in my head. I try to externalize everything. So at my university, you usually take all the same classes as everyone else in your degree. So I decided I would make a shared Google Doc where I kept track of all of the homework assignments. Because if I was making the list for myself, I might as well share it with everyone else. So in this Google Doc, I would write down exactly what we needed to do, like assignments, presentations, days, exam dates. I would have the due date and the time that it was due, because that could be tricky and important sometimes, and the percentage it was worth if it was a big summative thing. So the habit part of this is every time you hear your professor start to talk about a deadline, you are opening up that document and writing it down. Do not assume that your brain is going to retain that information until class is over or until you get home. Just write it down. And then a habit that you can do at the beginning of every semester is when you get all of your new classes and all of your new syllabi, write down all of the information that you can get from that. I know some professors put very little useful information in the syllabus, but other professors have their entire course and all of the assignments and deadlines planned out in advance. And then every week when you do your weekly planning, refer to your list, see if you need to update it, check off some things that you finished, and plan out time to work on the things that you still need to do. Exercise is incredible for your mental health if you need to blow off some steam during group projects or just for balancing out your emotions regularly so that you're more resilient to stress. Every time my mental health is bad, I think back to the past week or so and I realize that I haven't been exercising. Even if you had an exercise habit in place when you were in high school, it can be hard to adapt that when you move to college because everything about your routine and your environment changes. You're living in a new place, maybe in a dorm, maybe you don't have access to your family's gym membership anymore, or you're not sure about running in your new neighborhood. So you have to put in some extra legwork up front. Maybe that means looking to see if your university has like a free gym or if they even offer some exercise classes, finding a space at home to work out, or finding new running routes in your neighborhood. Basically, you just need to get that first part out of the way so that you can actually make exercise a habit, because then you just look at your calendar, block out however much time you have for exercise and pick from your menu of activities that you've discovered and you think you would like, and then do it. So on days when you have more free time, you could go on a hike, and then on days when you only have 20 minutes to spare, you can pull up a little YouTube workout video that you found. Whatever you do to stay active, I promise it will improve your day and it will relieve all of the stress that you're probably going through. I usually hear people talking about journaling as a mindfulness technique kind of thing, something you do to center yourself and clear your mind. But I also find journaling super important for a more practical reason, which is that I really want to document my life. In high school, I used to journal in a paper journal, so now I have a box full of notebooks of messy handwriting that I think I've only sat down to look through maybe twice in my life. I almost never look back through my entries. That's why 4 years ago, I switched to Day One, and I have not looked back since. Thank you to Day One for sponsoring this video. This is the best app for journaling that's out there. My habit is that every evening I write down everything that happened that day, 3 things I was grateful for, and 3 things that I'm proud of accomplishing. If you're just starting out, I honestly don't recommend writing this much because it might get kind of overwhelming. If you want to build a habit it, maybe try doing what I did, which is I started with entries that were literally a couple of sentences long with one photo attached, and then adding a bit more as your motivation to journal grows. And then maybe you work your way up to this level. My favorite feature of Day 1 Premium is that you can add unlimited photos and videos to every entry. So I go a bit crazy with that. Now I have all my college years documented in a secure, end-to-end encrypted digital journal. It's fully searchable, so I can literally search anyone's name and see all of the memories I've had with that person. I can go to any calendar day and see exactly what I did that day. I can even look at this map view and see all the different places that I tagged my journal entries with. So this is Segovia. This is the small town where I did the first 2 years of my degree. I can see the hikes that we went on in the hills, the time spent on campus or at coffee shops studying. So like I said, with Premium, you can add all the photos and videos that you want. You can create unlimited journals. You can have them sync across different devices, and many more features that I think make Premium super worth it, and I am quite picky with my subscriptions. You can actually get 2 months of Day 1 Premium for free if you go to day1app.com/blissbean or use the code blissbean. That is the longest Day 1 Premium free trial that you can find anywhere. Imagine the memories that your journal will hold after you journal consistently for just 2 months or 1 year or for the entirety of your college degree. Okay, number 4, we're going back to organization and admin stuff. A lot of times I hear people saying, oh, I didn't know this important deadline or piece of information because I didn't see the email. Their inboxes are a mess, and that's why you gotta archive your emails. Almost no one I know does this except the productivity weirdos on YouTube, myself included. But you can archive emails on Gmail. They won't get deleted, they just get put in another box. So when you're done something, if you've read it and there's no further action to take on it, you can use the shortcut E and it goes away from your inbox. You can still find it, you can still search for it, but when you open your inbox, you'll only see like, 5 to 10 emails at a time. Nothing escapes your attention because you know that if an email is still in your inbox, it's because you haven't acted on it yet. Number 5, on internship interviews, there will be a lot of times when you have to tell stories about a particular time you did something, a challenge you faced, how you approached it, what you learned from it. If you make it a habit now that every week or every month or so, you're gonna open up your dedicated Google Doc or Notion page, whatever you wanna use, and make note of different stories that you could tell, you'll have so much material to work with later and you won't have to dig through your brain for it. You can even categorize them with headers of the most common interview questions, like times I had to work with someone I didn't get along well with. You might have also seen similar advice on LinkedIn, which is to keep a brag book of your achievements and accomplishments. You can combine these. Bottom line is, if you are regularly writing down your accomplishments and your stories, you will be super ahead of the game when it comes time to interview. Things can get very busy at college, and the structure of classes and different activities being spread throughout your day can really fracture your time. Maybe a professor decides to end class 20 minutes early one day, or you're riding the metro for 30 minutes, or you just have 5 minutes of time while the professor is taking attendance. All of these are valuable pockets of time, and that's why you should always have a to-do list that very clearly shows you exactly what are some quick tasks that you can get out of the way in a short amount of time. You can also have a sort of menu of general activities that you can always refer to. So for example, when you're out and about or on the metro, you could do a quick Duolingo lesson, you could respond to texts from your friends, you could do a little journal entry on your phone, and when you're at home, you can use your little pockets of time to get ahead on chores. You can go fold some laundry, you can go wash a couple of dishes. All of these little tasks, if you leave them until the end of the day, it will actually take a significant chunk of time. But if you use every single little pocket to get things done bit by bit, you'll be less overwhelmed later. Finally, say yes. I know that it's also important to set boundaries when people ask you to do unreasonable things, or when you just have too much on your plate and you can't do an extra thing. But if you're an introvert like me, I think you stand to gain a lot from saying yes to some things that you really kind of want to say no to. Yes, sometimes you will say yes to a social thing and it will actually suck and you will wish that you had stayed home. But there was no way that you could have known that before you tried it. And I feel like that has been one of my biggest lessons from college, is that you have to take a certain number of chances. You have to cast the metaphorical fishing line a certain number of times. Some of those, maybe a lot of those will end up sucking, but some of them are gonna lead to new friends, new hobbies, new career opportunities, or even just like a better understanding of what kinds of activities you like. If you don't say yes to anything and you're always like, I'm busy, I'm tired, that doesn't sound very fun, you won't expand your horizons. And that's what college is all about, isn't it? Also getting the degree, I guess, but. So good luck with your school year, make the most of it, be kind to yourself if it doesn't go the way that you expect it to, it's all good. Again, you can get 2 months of Day 1 Premium for free if you go to day1app.com/blissbean and use the code blissbean. So thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye!